Your son doesn't mean you get to abuse me. Your words, they hurt, you know. I need you to stop.
Fine, whatever, princess. I wouldn't want to hurt your precious feelings. What a big whining crybaby. Anyway, where's my shoulder massage? Hurry up and get over here. You live next door, for crying out loud. What's taking you so long?
Sorry, I'm out shopping right now. It's gonna take me a while.
Shopping? Who on earth do you think you are, going out at a time like this? Do you have any idea how stiff my shoulders are? What was the point in moving in next door to you if you're not even going to be around to give me massages on demand? You're the most useless person I've ever had the displeasure of meeting.
I'm sorry.
I'll let you off the hook just this once. But only if you come over the moment you get back and give me the most luxurious 3-hour massage ever received by anyone in the history of the human race. Don't forget your daily chores at my house still aren't done. The laundry's piling up, the trash needs taking out, and my kitchen needs scrubbing.
Yes, I haven't forgotten. I'll be over as soon as I get back from shopping.
If only your actual performance inspired as much confidence as your messages. You obviously aren't going to be able to move as quickly as us normal human beings, being as immense and blubbery as you are. I wish you'd start scheduling your days with that in mind. Or at least making more of an effort. Who knows, maybe if you jog back, you'll lose a few pounds. Don't tire yourself out too much for the housework, though.
You've been calling me fat for ages now. But the thing is, you don't seem to realize I lost weight.
Wow, really? Are you being serious? Because it doesn't look like it to me. Oh, I get it. You're probably just trying to defend your wounded pride. It's okay, dear. I've come to terms with your immense gluttonous form. You should be more accepting towards yourself, dear. Own your blubber.
I'm not trying to defend anything. I genuinely lost weight. I've been dieting really hard for a while now. I'm not as slim as I was on our wedding day, but I'm getting there. This is more like the body I had when I was young. Even Henry said I started reminding him of the old me.
Oh dear, don't tell me you believed him. I'm creasing up here. You know how kind he is. He's obviously trying to make you feel better. That boy's too soft for his own good sometimes. I'm astonished you're too much of a dimwit to realize he's not being sincere.
Even Kayla said so.
Do you really think she'd call her own mom a big fat pig? Besides, she's in high school now. She's just trying to avoid hurting your feelings. There's nothing else for it, dear. I'll have to set you straight on your delusions, because it would appear you're hopelessly incapable of looking at yourself objectively.
You really think so?
Duh, obviously. Thank God I found out before things got out of hand. Things could have gotten real messy.
Messy? How?
Henry and Kayla being too considerate of your feelings could have led to your bait spiraling out of control. They think they're being kind, but all it does is enable your self-destructive behavior. They're too kind to tell the truth, which begs the question, is it really kindness at all? If the result is you swelling up to such a mammoth proportion that you end up diabetic, is it really kindness? Long story short, you absolutely must not believe a word they say.
You really think so?
I don't think so. I know so. One thing you're always guaranteed with me, dear, is honesty, and the honest truth is you're fat. I speak my mind, and as much as I understand it might sting sometimes, it's for your own good. It's such a shame I have to be twice as hard on you to undo their well-meaning sabotage. Perhaps if they weren't constantly walking on eggshells around you, things wouldn't be this way. It's time you started being more conscious of your weight, dear. Oopsie, that got a bit long-winded. Let me make it real simple for you. Hit the gym, fat ass. You can do it, little Miss Piggy. I believe in you.
Dana, are you still awake? I need to speak to you about this weekend.
Did you really have to message me at this time? I just got in bed. What the hell do you want?
I'm sorry to message you so late, but me and Kayla decided to go out together this Saturday, which means I'm not going to be able to do my chores at your house. You think you can get by without me for one day? I figured it'd be best to let you know as early as possible.
Who do you think you are? You will fulfill your housework duties as my daughter-in-law.
Look, I'm sorry, but like I said, me and Kayla are gonna be out all day.
So what?
No, not so what. It's patently obvious what I meant. We're gonna be out all day, which means I can't do your housework. So I'm sorry, but please figure out a way to get it done by yourself.
Good grief. Whatever am I going to do with you? I just let out the biggest sigh. This is why you'll always be a fat ass.
What exactly is that supposed to mean? How does this have anything to do with my weight?
It has everything to do with your weight. Use your brain for once, you blithering simpleton. Why do you think you tidy my house every day? You don't actually think it's because I'm incapable of doing housework myself, do you? Or because I want an easy life?
Wait, it isn't?
Of course it isn't. Good God, you seriously have no idea. You're even more dense than I thought. I'm so disappointed in you, little Miss Piggy.
I'm sorry.
Let me make this clear. I'm not making you do my housework. I'm granting you the privilege of doing my housework. Do you understand the difference?
I'm sorry. I don't understand. To tell you the truth, I don't feel privileged at all. Nope, I'm drawing blanks.
How can you be this much of a moron? It looks like it's not just your weight that's a disaster, little Miss Piggy. You also have bacon for brains. Actually, I take that back. They say pigs are quite intelligent. I don't want to insult them by comparing them to you.
I'm sorry, Dana. I'm just not getting it. Would you mind explaining what you mean?
I'm trying to help you diet.
Diet? I thought we were talking about housework. Did the subject change without me noticing?
No, it did not. Your stupidity never ceases to amaze me. Think about it. What do you do when you do housework? You move your body.
Yeah, I guess it'd be hard to do without moving.
Now, if you do two people's share of the housework, you'll slim down proportionately. Think of all the calories burned. That's why I let you tidy my house. Do you understand why you're so privileged now?
Oh, I see. I finally get it. You know, Dana, you're surprisingly thoughtful. To think you'd go out of your way to let me tidy your whole house every day. Thanks so much. I can't tell you how lucky I feel.
Thank God for that. You finally get it. Now that that's out of the way, I'll hear nothing more of this no housework on Saturday nonsense. Remember, I'm only doing this for you, dear.
Fine, understood. I'll do it. But even though I'm gonna do it, it's gonna be when I get home from my day out with Kayla. It'd be awkward for me to come home during the day. And we're leaving first thing in the morning, so I'll have to do it at night when I get back. That work for you?
Are you sure you'll be able to do that? Handbeasts like you tire very easily, you know. I'm worried you won't have enough energy if you leave it too late.
Yep, it's fine. Don't worry about that. Not a problem at all.
If you're sure, I suppose it's fine by me. I hope you understand there'll be consequences if it doesn't get done. You do not want to get on my bad side, dear. Do I make myself clear?
Jeez, I get it, Dana. I just said I'll do it, same as always. It'll just be a little later is all.
I'm being very kind by catering to your selfishness here. It's only natural I'd want to make doubly sure you're true to your word. I'm not normally one to compromise, so you should feel very lucky. Do not disappoint me. What the hell's going on? Do you know what time it is? What's all the racket? It's 7 a.m. Keep it down, little Miss Piggy. Don't get overexcited just because you're going out with Kayla for the day. You're heavier than most people, so you should tread more carefully when you walk. Start being more considerate towards your neighbor.
Little Miss Piggy? Who the hell do you think you are? Don't you dare speak to my mom like that.
Huh? Your mom? What are you talking about? Is this Tegan I'm speaking to?
No, it's Kayla, your granddaughter.
This can't be right. It says Tegan on my screen. Why would you be replying to me? Where is she?
In the shower? Me and her are going out together today.
Did you steal your mother's phone? You know you're not supposed to touch her thing, young lady. This is simply not an acceptable way to behave. She might be your mother, but you should still respect her boundaries.
Right back at you, psycho. I just looked through your message history. I know how you've been treating my mom behind our backs now. You're like a different person when me and my dad aren't around. You think you can do and say whatever you like to her because you know she won't say anything back, don't you? Well, you're wrong.
Kayla, who do you think you're speaking to, young lady? I'm your grandmother. How dare you call me a psycho? The only one crossing any lines here is you, and mark my words, there will be hell to pay for this. Do you seriously think this is any way to speak to me?
Oh, no, you don't. You're not turning this back on me just because I'm calling you out for being horrible to my mom. You're as nice as pie to her when me and my dad are around, but when it's just you two, all you do is make fun of her. Little Miss Piggy, seriously? Are you 12 years old? You make me sick. You're gross, Grandma.
Do not call your grandmother gross. Anyway, you're making a fundamental misunderstanding here. The reason I call your mother Little Miss Piggy isn't because I hate her.
Oh, really? Then why do you?
It's my pet name for her. Just a harmless bit of fun, that's all.
Pet name? Like a nickname?
Exactly. We do get along so well that we have nicknames for each other. Do you understand now, dear? So, Kayla, please. I need you to stop worrying about her. I'm sure you have enough on your plate with school and your friends to be wasting energy thinking about your problems your mother doesn't even have. You don't need to worry one bit. Things have never been better between us.
Huh? Do you really mean that? You really think this is gonna fly? Like I said, I saw your entire chat history. Anyone with a brain could figure out what you've been doing to her. There were me and Dad thinking everything was fine and our family was pretty much normal. And there she was, gritting her teeth and tolerating you in silence for God knows how long.
Don't be so dramatic. She wasn't tolerating anything. Tegan has a fantastic sense of humor. She knows it all. It's just jokes. I never had you down as this much of a worrier.
If you genuinely think what you're doing to my mom is okay, then you need professional help. Why couldn't I just have a normal grandma?
Kayla, please stop saying such hurtful things. If you insist on pushing me like this, I won't be held responsible for what happens. Everyone's temper has its limits, dear, and my lid's about to get ready to burst.
You're gonna get mad? I'm the one who's pissed off with you. Stop trying to twist everything and own up to what you've done. Anyway, are you completely lacking in self-awareness? How about you take a look in the damn mirror before calling someone else Little Miss Piggy? You force her to clean your house every day under the pretense of exercise. But if she's Little Miss Piggy, then you're the mama pig.
Kayla, how dare you? You do not speak to your grandmother like that. You've gone and done it now, you disrespectful little torag. I will not be held responsible for the hell that's about to be unleashed on you. I'll be telling your parents about this.
Do what you want, but I have a better idea. Get lost and leave us all alone. Why would any one of us want to have anything to do with a vicious, foul-mouthed pig like you?
Little Miss Piggy, are you there? I know you read my messages. Did you and my son have a chat?
I'm really sorry about today, Dana. I had no idea Kayla had my phone while I was in the shower. She should have never sent you all those horrible messages. She deleted the chat history, so I would have never noticed if you didn't show me yourself.
What? Kayla did that? I had no idea. She's even more calculating than I thought. Good grief. Listen, dear. I don't like the thought of saying this about my own flesh and blood, but it has to be said. What she did was cowardly and shameful. I'm embarrassed to call her my granddaughter.
Cowardly and shameful?
Don't you agree? Not only was she abhorrently disrespectful to her own grandmother, but she tried to hide all traces of it. She clearly knew what she was doing wrong.
I guess I understand why you feel that way. But I don't think she was trying to hide what she did. I think she was trying to hide the horrible things you said about me so I didn't get hurt.
I see you've already fallen for her devious excuses. How disappointing. Please just think about the gravity of what she said to me for a moment. Why does she think it's acceptable to speak to her own grandmother like that? Did you ever teach her to respect her elders? If you'd have done your job as her mother and raised her properly, she never would have turned out like this, little Miss Piggy. Apologize.
Sorry.
Sorry. Sorry. Sorry. Apologizing is easy. Anyone can do it. But all I seem to hear from you these days is apologies. Doesn't that alone tell you there's something seriously wrong here? You need to prove your alleged remorse with action and do something to make this right. It would appear you're not just a pig on the outside, bacon for brains. It's obvious what went wrong with Kayla. She inherited your moron genes.
My daughter is not a moron. In fact, she couldn't be further from it. She's a very intelligent young lady, and the only reason she said the things she said to you is because she loves me and wanted to protect me. So you need to stop insulting her right now. To tell you the truth, the way you're acting couldn't make me more uncomfortable.
Excuse me? Little Miss Piggy, you do know who you're speaking to, don't you?
Yes, of course I do. That's exactly why I'm saying these things to you, and I have no intention of changing or taking any of it back.
I'm your mother-in-law, young lady. You can't actually think this is an acceptable way to speak to me. You'll never get away with this if my son finds out. Is this really a path you want to go down? I suggest you think very carefully.
Even if Henry did have a problem with it, Kayla's still my daughter, and it's my job as her mother to protect her. She's my #1 priority. That wouldn't change even if it meant divorcing him, and certainly not for the likes of you.
Divorce? Well done, dear. You just opened up Pandora's box. Where did the sudden rush of confidence come from? Who the hell do you think you are speaking to me like that?
Who do you think I am? I'm Kayla's mother. Whether you call me Little Miss Piggy, a moron, or anything else, I literally could not care less. If putting up with your petty bullshit is what it takes to maintain a semblance of a relationship with you as my mother-in-law and avoid any drama, then so be it. But it's a different story when it comes to my daughter. I don't care if you're my mother-in-law or the goddamn president. No one insults my daughter.
How noble. There's one little problem with this self-righteous bluster of yours. She was the one who insulted me. Don't you think it's a little rich to paint her as the victim? Have you no shame?
You know what? I'll admit it. I do think she crossed the line with how she spoke to you, and I certainly won't be praising her for her choice of words. But I'm not going to condemn her either. She was angry and upset, and she said those things to protect me. She spoke up for me because she couldn't bear to see me insulted, and she clearly couldn't contain her anger when she looked through our chat logs and found out you'd been treating me like dirt behind her back. So did I think what she did was shameful? No, not one bit. Actually, I'm very proud of her.
Forget it. This conversation is pointless. It's my own fault, really. What did I expect trying to get any sense out of a pig? Go roll around in the mud and eat your pig feed. I'm done wasting my time on you. Hand the phone over to my son this instant. I'm going to tell him everything you and your horrible daughter have been doing to me, and I'll see to it that he divorces you.
Is that so? That's a shame. I tell you what, forget about it over message. Me and him will come over as soon as he gets off work, and we can have this out in person. And by that, I mean our final goodbyes. We're cutting you out of our lives, for good.
Huh? What are you talking about? Cutting me out of your lives? What does that mean?
It means after today, me and my family never want to see or hear from you again. And this should go without saying, but my family obviously includes Henry. Prepare to say your final goodbyes.
No, hold your horses, young lady. Why would my own son cut me out of his life? That's crazy talk. You've got this backwards. You're the one getting cut out of our lives. I told you I'll see to it that he divorces you. Is this some kind of weird coping mechanism of yours? As if my Henry would ever do that.
Let's see, shall we? You might be surprised to hear that it wasn't me who made this decision. I'm just the messenger. This is what Henry wants.
What? Henry wants? What do you mean? He's still at work, isn't he? You could only have spoken to him about the Kayla problem over messages and phone calls today, as if he'd make such an important decision over the phone.
Right, we've been messaging all day. It really didn't take him long to make his mind. He asked me to send you our chat logs when he heard what was going on, which I did. I'll be sending him this conversation soon, too.
What? No way. You're lying.
Nope, God's honest truth. He decided you had to go as soon as he saw the chat logs, to quote him, "A mother who insults my wife and daughter is no mother of mine. We're done with her. He said we're better off without you in our lives."
What about this house? We had these houses built together so I could live next door to you.
We haven't really thought about it yet, to be honest. We'd be fine with selling it, though. Or maybe we could rent it out to someone else. Actually, I think we could use the extra income with how the economy is. The benefits of getting rid of you just keep piling up. That said, it's still early days. We'll have to think on it some more, so make sure you stew in anxious despair about the uncertainty of your future while we do, okay? You will still have to leave ASAP, though. You're nothing but a stranger now, after all.
Don't talk nonsense. I'd be between a rock and a hard place if you kicked me out. I have nowhere to go. I'd literally be on the streets or in some kind of hostel at best. This is too much shock for me to take in one go. Are you trying to give me a heart attack? You can't make my son disown me and kick me out of my house at the same time. I have no idea what I'd do if you went through with this.
Not what you would do, Dana. What you will do. This isn't hypothetical. You're leaving. What you do next isn't our problem.
No, please. Don't say such awful things. You should be thinking of ways to help me. I thought we had a special bond. Please. Surely there must be some way I don't have to end up totally screwed here.
Maybe there is, but it's not our problem. And a special bond? Don't be ridiculous. You're gonna have to figure this one out on your own. What help could I possibly be? I'm just a stupid little piggy. Mommy Pig, being infinitely older and wiser than me, shouldn't have any issues coming up with a master plan to get herself out of this desperate mess she got herself into. Oink oink. I'm sure my mother-in-law would have loved if she could have come up with some kind of genius plan to turn things around and extricate herself from the enormous hole she dug herself into, but sadly for her, she was already far too deep. Just as promised, me and Henry went next door when he got back from work and formally announced her eviction from the house and from our lives. Naturally, Dana being Dana, she tried desperately to save her skin with excuse after excuse, but our patience with her was already beyond its limits, and her pleading fell on deaf ears. Henry had all the proof of her abuse he needed in the chat logs, so she was wasting her breath. If anything, her shameless begging combined with her complete inability to admit any wrongdoing just made him even angrier, and he gave her marching orders, demanding she take all her things and be out of the house within a week. That said, she is an old woman, and we would have felt a tiny bit guilty making her homeless, so we decided to call Henry's aunt and asked if she'd take her in after explaining the circumstances that led us to a drastic decision. Henry's aunt, having grown up with Dana, knew just how difficult she could be, and being just as disgusted by her behavior, agreed to take her in, but promised not to make her life easy. Last I heard, she's on a strict regimen of daily household chores. I tolerated her bullying for so long because I wanted a drama-free family life. But now I know I made the wrong decision. She doubled down on the abuse when she realized I wouldn't defend myself, which ultimately led to my daughter getting dragged into the whole mess and being hurt as a result. Lesson learned: never placate a bully. From now on, if I feel like someone's treating me unfairly, I'm just gonna tell them. I've learned that the more uncomfortable something makes you, the more important it is to be honest about it, no matter how difficult that discussion is. It's only on top of that foundation of openness that you can find true happiness.
Hey Jerry, are you still not home yet? I have dinner and everything all ready for you to eat.
I'm sorry, Avery. I'm going out fishing with Jacob again.
What? You and Jacob are going fishing again? Are you telling me you got home from work earlier than me and then went right from home to go out fishing with him?
That's right. But crap, I forgot to tell you, didn't I? I'm sorry about that as well.
I doubt you're actually sorry about any of this. I've told you plenty of times before that if you plan to go on these small fishing trips, you have to tell me first so that I'm prepared. Anything could happen to you while you're gone, and I have to know what's going on with you. How many times do I have to ask this from you? I really don't want to keep worrying about this.
I said I'm sorry. I just got out of work today, and that's when Jacob contacted me asking me to go. He said someone was already getting a boat ready and everything for us. And since tomorrow's my day off, I had no other choice but to say yes.
Well, next time you better let me know before you leave. I already made dinner for the two of us this time, and now it's going to go to waste.
I'll just eat it tomorrow morning if you throw it in the fridge for me. That should be enough, right?
Tomorrow morning? Are you coming home in the morning? Whenever you go out at night, you're always home around noon at the earliest.
Well, you make a good point. Then I'll have the leftovers for lunch, I guess. Can you just go ahead and wrap it all up and put it in the bottom of the shelf on the fridge?
You constantly going on all these fishing trips is really starting to get to me.
You think? But I really enjoy going out on all these trips.
Well, I'm not enjoying it at all. And also, whenever you guys do go out, you're not even catching anything worth keeping. Just those stupid-looking fish that sit on the bottom of the ocean.
Well, recently I haven't had any luck is all. This time I promise to come back with something good.
Well, I hope you do, or else it seems like all you're doing is wasting time. But anyway, I just feel you're really going out fishing way too often. For the past month, you've been going whenever you have a free day from work, right?
And what's wrong with that? Fishing is my main hobby, so there's nothing bad about doing it all the time. Are you saying you don't like me enjoying what I love to do?
I never said I don't like you enjoying your hobby, but I think you need to reel it back a little on how often you go every week. For the past couple of months, you and I have gone nowhere together, and you're never even home long enough to help me with any of the chores we have. You and I both work full-time jobs, yet you have me doing all the work at home as well.
Well, I'm sorry about that. But right now is a perfect season for fishing. Works for you? Let me know and I'll be over there as soon as I can.
Thanks. Jerry, what are you up to right now? Why haven't you been answering the phone?
You called me? Did you need me for something? I'm in the middle of a meeting right now, so that's why I probably didn't see you calling.
Huh? I thought you took today off, right? Why would you be in a meeting when you took paid time off for this exact day?
Huh? Did I tell you that I took today off?
Well, I mean, you're not in your office right now. You had asked to have a package delivered today, right?
I don't think I did.
Huh? That's a bit strange, then. It looks like you had an order placed for this package, though.
What are you even talking about right now? I'm getting a bit scared.
I'm just letting you know that you had a package placed to be delivered to you today, right? I had to go over to your office building and pick it up for you. Right now, I'm heading over to your place with it. Do you think that the three of us can all open it together? Because if not, I might have to open it up myself.
Huh?
Your guys' house number is 409, right? I'm almost to the front of your place, so can you leave the door unlocked for me?
Hold on a sec. Are you near me right now?
I'm right in front of the house.
House?
Well, I assume it's the house of your girlfriend, but the walls of the place are all ocean blue, making it look super tropical. If the outside of the house is this cute, I wonder what's the inside's like. I can't wait to see it.
Huh? What? Why? Where are you at again?
Don't get so worked up. Try to help yourself calm down a bit. You're inside your girlfriend's house right now, correct? And you asked to have a package delivered, right?
No, I'm not. I'm back out on the water fishing again today.
You really don't have to keep trying to lie to me, okay? I already looked in your car and saw that your fishing gear's still in there. I think for a long time now you've always been going over to this girlfriend's house anytime you told me you were fishing, right?
You're wrong. I'm on the water right now with my lure in the water waiting for a bite. I came out today with Jacob's car and he's letting me borrow his fishing gear today.
And I'm asking you to please stop making up crap on the spot, okay? I already have a lot of evidence now, so that's why I'm here.
Evidence?
During this whole week, I've been following you. I even have evidence of everywhere you've been going, including this house. I have photos of the two of you holding hands as you both walk to the bar as well. And I know that you're in that house right now, so there's really no reason for you to try and hide from me. Do you understand?
I'm sorry.
So you're finally starting to accept reality.
But this is just me having a little fun. We are just having a fling is all.
I don't care what the two of you are doing. It has nothing to do with me, and that's the problem, right? You're having an affair with another woman, and that's not going to be changed by however you try and make me view it.
This isn't an affair, though. I'm just cheating on you. I had just been feeling a little wild lately, and so I found her and we've been having a small fling.
If you're married to someone and you decide to go out with another woman that's not your wife, that's an affair, right? And even if this was the only time you've been with her, it doesn't change anything. But I'm already well aware that you've come to this house 4 times now during this week alone. Seems that you care a whole lot more about her than your own wife. Why not just get married to her at this point?
I'm telling you that you're wrong, Avery. She actually has been asking me to break up with you so she can become my wife, and threatening to break up with me if I stop coming over. That's why I have to keep coming back to her.
She really has a hold on you then, huh?
That's right. I'm scared of her, actually. And so I've had no other choice but to keep coming over here.
Well, that must be so tough for you, huh?
It was just supposed to be a one-time thing. You understand that I didn't want any of this, right?
Nope, I don't understand you at all.
What?
I don't even care what reason you've given me at this point. And even if you are telling the truth about this, that still doesn't change the fact that you've had a relationship with another woman besides your wife. I'm sure things have been conflicted for you, but this is not a good enough reason for me to forgive you.
I'm really sorry. I'm actually really freaking sorry. I'll leave her. I'll make sure to leave her right now.
Oh, don't worry. You don't have to break up with her, because I already plan to divorce you. So you can go right ahead and continue this little fling the two of you have been having.
But I don't want to get divorced from you.
Well, I do.
The only reason any of this happened between her and I because I was acting stupid. I should have never let myself continue coming back to her.
Is that so? But you've been coming here 4 times just this week, so I'm having a hard time believing you right now.
I'm really sorry, Avery. I promise to never ever lie to you about anything ever again.
Do you really think I'll trust that promise of yours? You told me a boatload of lies now that I've had to dig through.
But I'm saying that I'll never do that to you again. So can you stop trying to divorce me?
Over and over again, you would cancel things between us to go fishing, as well as leave me doing all the housework. And worse than that, it wasn't even about fishing, but about you meeting with this woman to have fun in bed. I don't know about you, but I have no desire of ever staying with a man like you. You can't expect me to want you still.
Well, I'm telling you that I was just being an idiot for doing all that. And honestly, I never wanted you to know about any of this, and that's why I said I was fishing with Jacob.
You're saying that like you were trying to do the right thing. That still doesn't even give you a pass for not being home with me and helping to do the chores.
I'm sure you see it that way, but...
Hell, the one time I asked you to come home and help me to go to the doctor's office, you were with that woman, weren't you? You tried to use fishing to hide the fact that you were with her. But even if you were actually fishing, the real problem is that you never cared enough about me to come home in the first place.
Well, actually, I really was out fishing that day. I really was worried about you and everything as well.
And here we go again with the lies. See? This is why I literally cannot trust you anymore. I'll have you know that on that day, Ryan was at this house and he told me everything. He started by asking me if I had moved into a new house. But then when I said we hadn't moved, he told me you grabbed some packages from him.
Huh?
You never did get to meet my brother after so many years, right? Because you canceled last minute to go fishing. Maybe that's why you never knew he was my brother. You're such a joke. If you would have known who he was, you could have done a better job at hiding yourself and just asked to have the packages left on the porch. Ah, but that's right. You had to sign for the packages because you paid for them, right?
I'm so sorry.
It's too late now to be apologizing to me. I'm looking forward to you signing the divorce papers for me, okay? And one last thing. Make sure to let your girlfriend know that I'll also be asking for a settlement from her as well.
Hold on, Avery. I really don't want to leave you. You're the only woman for me.
Even though you're trying to save yourself now, I told you that you never once showed me that you actually cared for me as your wife. I've been unhappy with you for far too long now. You never even wanted to take time away from your hobby to be with the person you said you loved. I really did feel bad when you said I was complaining about your hobby, because I liked knowing that you were having fun. But at the same time, you were never home for me, and that was driving me crazy.
You're the only woman for me. You're the only woman for me.
I have no reason to. You never wanted me to know about your affair, so you constantly lied to me about everything. We were never meant to be together, it seems, because unlike me, you only cared about yourself. Well, don't worry, because I won't be around anymore to harp on you about enjoying yourself and that other woman. Now go ahead and get back to your self-centered life of fooling around and fishing. Right after I told him to go enjoy himself, he came running out of his girlfriend's house and the two of us started discussing the divorce. He continued to tell me that he didn't want to get a divorce, but I made it very clear that I wasn't changing my mind, so he signed the papers for me, and I went and handed them in. I later learned that Jerry found that woman on a dating app, and that they really didn't seem to have a serious relationship. But in my case, it being serious or not didn't matter. The fact that he downloaded an app like that while married to me, and then met up with some woman to have fun with, is what I care about. Once the divorce had gone through, I was able to get money from both Jerry and his girlfriend, and now I have nothing else to worry about regarding those two. I heard later that Jerry did end up asking her to marry him, where she said yes to him, but later down the road she called things off with him. She said she couldn't trust him enough anymore after thinking over and over again about the fact that she had to pay me for him cheating on me, and that he never even told her the truth in the first place. I guess that's what he deserves for lying to her about everything as well. I'm just so happy that I was able to divorce him before things started to go south between him and his girl. The fact that I had learned that he was cheating on me after saying he always went fishing has really left a scar in my heart. But knowing that I'll never have to worry about him again has started to heal my heart in a way that I haven't felt in ages. I have memories of what happened every once in a while, but I always make sure to keep my head held high and move on with my life, aiming for a future where I'm happier than Jerry. That's going to continue to be the best way of healing myself, so from now on, I'm going to find a hobby that I can really sing into myself and become even happier.
Stanley, where are you? I'm going to sleep soon. Are you on your way home yet?
Sorry, Monica, I'm gonna be a little while. I'm taking the last train home. Don't wait up for me, just go to sleep.
You said that last time and ended up coming back the next morning. Are you drinking with the guys from work again?
Yeah.
Stanley, you've been doing this an awful lot lately. I barely see you these days as it is with the inhuman amounts of overtime your boss has been making you do. Couldn't you at least cut down on the drinking parties so we can actually spend some time together?
It's out of my hands, babe. I gotta hang out with the boys and work sometimes. What would you have me do, ditch 'em? There are times when I can't make it home even when I want to.
But Stanley, you don't even drink.
That doesn't give me a get-out-of-jail-free card, you know. I still have to tag along. I may call it hanging out, but you're better off just singing to these get-togethers as part of my job.
I get that you have social responsibilities, honey, but if you keep coming home first thing in the morning several times a week, you're gonna get sick. Let's face it, you're not the spring chicken you once were. I really think you should start being more health conscious. You're working like a dog with all the overtime these days as it is.
It's fine, chill. I know my own body and I know my limits. I'll take power naps in the day when I can, so there's nothing to worry about.
What, you mean at work? If you have time to be sleeping at work, surely you could finish up and come home early instead? You can always sleep here, you know, in our bed. I'm sure that would be more comfortable than slumping over at your desk.
Sheesh, Monica, you're really breaking my balls today. Part of the reason I'm doing all this overtime is so I can provide for you and give you the things you want in life.
I know that. But still, you hardly sleep at the house at all anymore. Is it such a surprise that I'm worried about you?
If you're so worried, then it'd be great if you could get off my back, because this sure as hell isn't good for my mental health. Don't you see how asking me to justify my every move is gonna stress me out?
I'm sorry, I don't mean to give you a hard time. But Stanley, please, can't you see why I'm worried? You barely reply to my messages anymore, and when you do, it's days later. I feel like we'd never speak if I didn't message you first. Of course I'm gonna be worried if I can't even speak to you. Maybe the guys peer pressured you into chugging more beers than you could handle, or you tripped down an alleyway on the way home and banged your head. These are the scenarios that run through my mind when you disappear for days at a time. I have no way of knowing whether you've been in an accident or if you're just ignoring me.
I've been coming home late pretty much every night lately. Surely you're used to it by now. Take a chill pill, sweet cheeks, you fret too much.
Maybe so, but saying that isn't just gonna magically make it stop. I can't help feeling the way I do. I wish you'd understand that and start acting less like a stranger and more like my husband.
Fine, whatever. I'll message you more from now on. Happy now?
Yes. But won't you please consider sleeping at the house more? It's been totally empty during the week lately. How are you gonna rest up properly if you don't chill out at home every now and then?
You have a point, actually. Okay, it's decided. I'll relax at home on my day off.
Really? Yay! In that case, I'll rustle up some of your favorite hamburgers. I'll get you some of that packet soup you love too. I'm really looking forward to seeing you again, babe.
Thanks, I appreciate you doing all that. Oh, and I'm sorry. I shouldn't have spoken so harshly. That was rude of me. I know you can't help worrying, and I know you only do it because you care. I think you're right. I must be tired.
It's fine, honey. I know how hard you work, and I appreciate it. But please try and be kinder to yourself, okay? Believe it or not, you are mortal like the rest of us. I'm working too, you know. It's not like we're gonna be homeless if you turn down overtime every now and again. Don't overdo it.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. I'll get home as early as I can tonight.
Okay, see you soon. Take care. I'll run you a bath too, honey. See you soon. Stanley, are you there? I just checked our bank account. The $20,000 we saved up since getting married is gone. Do you have any idea why? If you don't, I'm going straight to the police station.
I'm sorry, I took it out.
I knew it. What's going on? Why the hell would you do that behind my back?
I'm sorry, babe. There's no time to explain now. I'll tell you later.
Later? I don't want to hear later. Why don't you have time? Where even are you?
I'm out.
You think I'm a freaking moron? I know that. I'm asking you where you are specifically. It says on the transaction history you withdrew the money yesterday. No way. Are you out somewhere spending it right now?
No. Well, actually, I am, but
You explain what the hell's going on this instant, Stanley. It's a national holiday today, so don't even bother trying to give me any crap about being at work. Surely you can make it home, can't you?
I'm so sorry about this, babe, but you see, the thing is, I can't make it home right now.
So tell me what the hell you're playing at. Explain, right now.
I'm at my mom and dad's house.
Huh? Your mom and dad's house? Why would you be there?
Look, the thing is, it's my mom. She's ill. She needs money to cover her hospital visits, and she needs to have an operation. That's why I took the $20K from her account.
What? Your mom's ill? Why didn't you tell me?
I'm sorry, babe. I really wanted to tell you, but my mom told me not to.
But wait a sec, this doesn't make any sense. Me and your mom get along great, and we're always messaging each other. Why didn't she tell me anything? She said she was fine before.
She probably just didn't want to worry you because she knows what a dweller you are. She's in a pretty bad way, but the doctors say she has a good chance of recovering if she goes into hospital for an operation. Monica, please can you pretend you didn't hear this? You can't let my mom know you know.
I mean, sure, I guess. I don't mind keeping quiet about it if that's what you want.
The reason I've been leaving the house empty on my days off lately, too, is because I've been driving out to my folks' place, but I'm so sorry for keeping all this from you.
So, this is what's been going on with you all along? I see.
But I don't think I'll have to go anymore for a while after today.
Is that because she's going to stay at the hospital?
Right, exactly.
But surely we're going to have to go out and visit her while she's there? Your dad's not very mobile anymore, so we're the only ones she can rely on. She's gonna want us to bring her all sorts of things like clothes and food and the like. And surely we do kinda have a duty to see to it she has everything she needs as her son and daughter-in-law.
Sure, but you don't have to do anything, babe. I'll take care of it all during the week.
You make time for anything during the week? You, who's constantly at work and does more overtime than a Japanese salaryman? How's that gonna work? I really don't mind helping out, you know. Surely things will be a lot easier on you that way. Besides, how are you gonna get away from the office during visiting hours?
I said it's fine, don't worry about it. My mom would hate the idea she was causing you a nuisance. You know how thoughtful and sensitive she is? I know you don't mind, but you'd feel bad about it regardless. I'll take care of everything.
Stanley, me and your mom have known each other for 2 years now. We're family. I'd really appreciate it if you didn't talk about me like we were strangers.
I'm sorry, maybe I didn't word it very skillfully, but the bottom line here is we don't want you to go out of your way. I can take care of this myself, and I want you to. Will you let me do that, babe? Mom said herself it's not a big deal, and she doesn't want everyone making a fuss over her.
But I can hardly just stand by and do nothing. Why can't me and you work as a team to help her with the things she can't do herself while she's cooped up in her hospital bed? Why can't we make the whole experience as pleasant as it can be for her?
Monica, I appreciate the sentiment, really, I do, but I want you to respect my mom's wishes. Can I ask you to do that? I'm sorry about the whole thing with the money. I wish I could have told you. But can you just pretend you don't know about any of this?
This is a lot to take in, and to be honest, I'm finding it really hard to go along with. I'm really worried about your mom, and how vague and ambiguous you're being about everything isn't helping. Can you at least come home and give me a little more detail in person?
More detail? I told you everything I know.
You know, like what's wrong with her, what's the name of the illness, the name of the hospital, just the basic stuff like that.
What difference would it make if you knew?
What difference would it make? Are you being serious right now? Surely it's for the best that I know these things in case anything happens. Why do I even need to explain that to you? I don't even...
How many times do I have to tell you my mom didn't want anyone knowing about this?
And I don't plan on telling her I know. It still wouldn't hurt to fill me in on the details. Why are you so intent on keeping me in the dark? I have no idea why you'd intentionally keep basic information from me like this.
Because if I did, I have no guarantee that you wouldn't go off running your mouth to her without thinking. I know how much you worry, Monica, and I can't risk it.
Are you being serious? How can you have the gall to say that after you emptied almost our entire savings account behind my back? I have a right to ask.
Fine, I'll tell you later. Happy now? I'm too busy at the minute. I have to go. Bye. Hey, Monica. I'm sorry to message you while you at work, but just can't wait. I have something very important to discuss with you.
Something very important? Like what?
I had to leave the company.
Whoa. Whoa. What the hell? Why?
I'm so sorry.
Why did you have to leave?
My boss made the mother of all screw-ups, and instead of accepting responsibility and potentially losing his job, he blamed it all on me.
What the? Why should you have to leave your job over his mistake? That's not fair. Surely you're gonna fight it. You can't just take this lying down, Stanley. You've been at this company for years.
I know it's not fair, babe, but I was in no position to fight him.
No position to fight him? Oh, do you mean... of course, I understand.
I'm so sorry, Monica. I mean it. I'll help out around the house until I find something else. I won't be a burden, I promise. I'll do my best to find something else ASAP. Of course I will.
It's fine. You don't have to do that.
What do you mean? Sure, this won't exactly put us in dire straits, and we'll still be able to stay afloat for a while thanks to you working and bringing in money yourself. But the idea of letting my wife provide for me while I stay at home cleaning the house and doing the laundry? Yep, as a husband and as a man, I can't stomach that.
I mean, it's fine. You don't have to do that because we're getting a divorce. You can do whatever you like now.
What? Hang on, is my phone bugging out? Divorce?
Yes, divorce.
Why would we get a divorce? Are you joking? Is this some kind of prank? How can you just bring divorce on me after I just lost my job? Have you no heart? Not only that, but my mom's sick in a hospital bed, about to have life-changing surgery.
Shut your lying mouth before I lose it. I want you to get your belongings together and get the hell out of this house as soon as you get off work.
Wait, no, why? Lying? I know what you mean. At least give me a reason. Are you seriously gonna toss me aside like a piece of trash when I'm in the most desperate situation of my life? Are you gonna abandon me by the wayside despite me needing you now more than ever? How am I gonna find a place to live when I can't even afford rent? I'm unemployed, for crying out loud.
I have no interest in continuing this conversation. I'm going back to work.
No, Monica, let's talk about this when I come home. We can do that, can't we? We can solve our problems like mature, responsible adults, right? Surely we don't have to jump straight to divorce. Anyway, I don't consent to it. I don't, and I won't. Monica, what are you planning on going through with this divorce? Please come back.
Did I not make it abundantly clear that you were only to contact me once you'd made the preparations for the divorce? I'm busy looking for somewhere else to live. I don't need to hear your crap. I'm staying in a cheap, run-down motel right now.
There's a perfectly warm, comfortable, clean, livable house waiting for you right here. Why don't you just come home and talk to me? You won't listen to a word I say. How the hell could you divorce me the moment you found out I lost my job? I feel like I barely recognize you anymore. Do I have no use to you now? I'm not making money anymore, is that it? Is that all I was to you, a walking wallet? You're so cold and heartless. Do you think this is what my sick mother needs to hear while she's cooped up in a hospital bed?
Are you still harping on about that bull? Give me a break. Do you seriously think I don't know anything?
You know about what?
Did nothing come to mind when I told you I wanted a divorce? You must think I'm a moron.
I don't think that about you, and I have no idea why you're doing this. I just want the old Monica back, believe me. I've wrapped my brains trying to figure out why this is happening, but I draw blanks every time.
It's actually scary how effortless lying is for you. You should be a politician. I know you cheated on me.
What? I didn't know such thing. Why would you think I cheated on you? What are you even basing that on?
The $20,000 you said was for your mom's hospital bills? It was compensation, wasn't it?
What are you talking about?
I know everything. You know the day you withdrew $20K from our joint savings account? You know, the day before I noticed? I got a picture from your mom of her on holiday in Hawaii with your dad.
You did?
Far from being cooped up sick in a hospital bed, she was having the time of her life in the sun. Much like how you ignore my messages for days on end, your mom told me how you also never reply to her. Well, guess what? Me and her have been in regular contact for the last year. It started out as her checking up on us because getting anything out of you was like drawing blood from a stone. But eventually we grew closer, and now we're good friends.
Wait, you are? Did she really message you the day I withdrew the money?
Yes, she really did. Which means I know you were lying about her being sick and having to go to the hospital. Why would you drive all the way to your parents' house when they were in Hawaii? I knew something fishy was going on as soon as you told me, which is why I messaged her immediately. She told me straight away she wasn't sick and was actually doing great.
No, you've got this all wrong. Like I told you, my mom didn't want you to know she was ill. She's in a real bad way. She's just hiding it. The truth is, my mom's lying to you.
The only liar here is you. I told your mom I planned on blocking you and only speaking to you through my lawyer from now on. To my surprise, she said she wanted to tag along so she could be there while we hashed things out. You really are a grade A moron.
Okay, fine, you got me. I'm sorry I lied about my mom's illness.
Wow, I'm surprised you're actually admitting it.
But I really did have to lend out the money.
To who?
My friend.
Who's your friend?
You don't know him.
I don't have to know them. Tell me their name. And give me their phone number while you're at it. I want to check whether you're telling the truth.
No, you can't do that. They're busy. You'd be bugging them. They really are sick and in hospital.
Interesting. So they're sick and in the hospital, but too busy to take a quick phone call? Let me get this straight. You're telling me you lent this mystery friend of yours $20K of our money. And I'm not even allowed to know who they are or call them to find out whether you're telling the truth? Have you even stopped to consider how ridiculous this is? You just admitted you lied about your mom being sick. Would you trust you if you were me?
Fine, I'll tell you. Later on, I promise I will.
And when is later on? What difference would waiting make? My mind's already made up on the divorce, and that's not gonna change. I hoped at least you'd give me some kind of indication you're willing to separate on good terms. I hoped all the time we spent together was at least worth that to you. But it seems you're hellbent on lying through your teeth to the very end.
I just freaking said I'll tell you later, didn't I?
Forget it. Did you run out of lies? Need more time to come up with a fresh, steamy pile of bullcrap, is that it? I'm not interested in hearing any of it. I know you found the name of the illness in the hospital your mom were supposedly staying at on the internet. I saw your search history. And the $20K you took from our savings account without my permission was compensation you had to pay your boss, wasn't it? I know all about your affair with his wife. I know all about you getting her pregnant. I know all about him walking in on you going at it like rabbits in their bed. And I know all about him taking you to court.
Oh, geez, how did you find out about all that?
I knew you were up to no good because of how suspicious you were acting. So I messaged the wife of one of your coworkers.
Monica, I'm so sorry.
Don't Monica me, you vile dirtbag. Does that mean you admit it then? Am I finally getting some honesty out of you? Jesus, Stanley, how long did that take? You've done nothing but lie to me up until now. Is there a single woman on this planet who'd want to stay with a lying scumbag like you after everything you've done?
You've got this all wrong. It's not like you're saying it all. I was a victim in all this too, just like the boss. His wife seduced me. I tried to resist, but she was so damn persistent. She lured me in with her wiles, and before I knew it, I was in her clutches. She had me wrapped up around her little finger. I never intended for it to turn out that way. Things just got out of hand.
Even if that were true, Don't you see how you're in the wrong at the point a judge orders you to pay your boss $20,000? Don't you see how you're in the wrong at the point you get fired from your job for misconduct? That's not the only reason they fired you either, is it? It was just the straw that broke the camel's back. That's right, I know about how you were embezzling company money to fund trips to fancy restaurants and days out with your lover. What the hell are you playing at, Stanley? You make me sick. I'm disgusted at myself for ever seeing anything in you.
Please don't say things like that, Monica. I'm truly, truly sorry from the bottom of my heart. I've never been more sorry about anything in my life. The only reason I lied was to protect you. I couldn't bear the thought of you getting hurt. You're the only woman I love, Monica. I lied to protect you, I swear. After I did what I did, I felt like I had no choice. Surely you're not gonna give up on us over this, are you? You're my honey bunny, and I'm your treacle pie, remember?
Don't honey bunny me ever again, you lying rat. You didn't lie to protect me, you lied to protect yourself. Do you remember what you said to me back when I left the house? You said I was heartless. You called me every name under the sun and condemned me to oblivion for having the nerve to be sick and tired of your lies. Which part of that was trying to protect me? You said you couldn't bear the thought of me getting hurt, but you did everything in your power to make sure I did.
Look, I accept I said a few things I shouldn't have when things got heated back then, but that was only because I was so desperate not to lose you.
The only reason you didn't want to lose me was because of my money. You owed your boss a freakish amount of compensation, had no savings left, and had just lost your job. All I was a bank account to you. You knew that if I divorced you, you'd have to pay me alimony, and you'd no longer have any access to my salary. You're a ruthless, scheming liar. You're right, one of us is heartless, but I can assure you it's not me.
Monica, please, I'm sorry. I swear I'll never cheat on you again. Please forgive me, please. Please, I'm begging you.
I doubt I'll ever be able to forgive you. Maybe things could have been different if you hadn't lied through your teeth about everything from start to finish. Instead of accepting fault for your misdeeds, you chose to scheme, cheat, and deceive. I'm so sick and tired of you. I'm pretty much speechless. My level of trust for you is precisely 0. Nothing you could possibly say to me could make a difference. It's too little, too late.
I'm human, babe. We all make mistakes. Sure, I might have gotten carried away and cheated on you with the boss's wife against my better judgment, but now that I've thought about it, I understand just how awful and wrong of me that was. I feel nothing but regret.
What are you pleading with me for? You should be more concerned about the fact that you lack the basic human decency to realize how despicable your actions were at the time. Not only that, but you desperately tried to palm off the blame onto everyone but yourself, including me. You betrayed me. You lied to me. And you hurt me more than I've ever been hurt before. When I said I was divorcing you, instead of doing the right thing by coming clean and apologizing, you doubled down on the lies and actually tried to paint me as the villain. I'd have to be insane to even consider giving a dirtbag like you a second chance.
I'm so sorry. Please, please forgive me. I'm begging you.
It's too late for apologies. Oh, and I hope you know you'll be paying back every cent you stole from me to pay for the compensation you owed your boss.
What? I don't have that kind of money. In fact, I don't have any money at all.
You better start looking for a good loan shark then. The bottom line is that that's not my problem. Ask your lawyer what he thinks the best way to get yourself out of the 10-mile deep hole you dug yourself in is. We'll be meeting soon to talk things over with our lawyers, so you can ask him then.
I'm begging you, Monica. I'll be lost without you. I'll have nothing. Please don't abandon me like this. Who was the one who was always there to support me when times were tough? Who was the one who was always there with a kind word and an ear for my troubles when life got the better of me? It was you, Monica. It was always you.
I may be kind, but I'm not a fool. You tried to take me for one, and now you're paying the price. You only have yourself to blame. You'll never see that side of me again, because you made me this way. After that, me, Stanley, his mom, and both of our lawyers all got together to discuss the divorce. At first, Stanley was adamant he wouldn't agree to do the divorce, but after being given the dressing down of his life by his mom in front of everyone, he backed down, limp and defeated. After the terms of the divorce were settled on thanks to my mom-in-law's heroic efforts, things were finalized, and we separated once and for all. I received what was left in our savings account as compensation for the theft and the affair. As for the remainder of what he owed me, he had no choice but to go into debt and pay it back in monthly installments. My ex-husband did try to find a new job, but he didn't get a single response from any of the companies he applied for, despite being a capable worker with an impressive resume. I can only conclude that his revenge-hungry former boss must have used his connections in the industry to spread news of his ex-subordinate's misdeeds as far and as wide as he possibly could. What can I say? What goes around comes around. I hear he's looking for supermarket work now. In other news, his old boss divorced his adulterous wife immediately after he found out what she'd been up to. I heard through the grapevine that apparently his wife is now pressuring Stanley to marry her and be there for the baby. He wasn't interested in remarrying. I guess there must be a part of him deep down that feels guilty about what he did after all. Either that, or he's just desperate to escape from the responsibility of having to look after his kid. I'll let you guys be the judge on that one. I have no idea what'll happen to him from here on out. I gotta admit, things don't look great for him financially, and even finding somewhere to live is gonna be difficult, but I don't have any sympathy for him. He brought all of it on himself. Hopefully he finally starts behaving like an adult and takes responsibility for his actions. After the divorce, I found myself an apartment to live in, and I'm currently enjoying getting used to my newly single life. Well, I say getting used to, but with my husband never being around the house during the months leading up to the divorce, I'm basically already a pro. In that sense, not much has changed. One thing's for sure though, the feelings of stress, worry, anxiety, and despair that plagued me on a daily basis while we were married are now a thing of the past. I do wonder whether I'll be able to trust anyone again, but for the time being, I'm trying not to think about difficult things like that and focusing on treating myself with the patience, love, and care that I deserve. Let's face it, whatever happens, I'm bound to live a happier, more enjoyable, more fulfilling life than my debt-ridden rat of an ex-husband.
Why, hello there, big sister. I just wanted to message you about something. Is it true that you and Drew just got into a huge argument? You do realize that your wedding is tomorrow, right? It doesn't look good if a couple's arguing the night before. It's not great, actually.
Georgia, how did you even know about that there was an argument?
I wouldn't underestimate my knowledge on how I obtained this sort of information if I were you, okay? Besides, it's not a good sign if you're fighting the day before the wedding. Do you think everything will go as planned tomorrow? Will you two be all right?
We only had a little disagreement. It's not a big deal, Georgia. There'll be no problems tomorrow, I can assure you of that.
But are you really sure about that? But didn't you get so angry for something that wasn't necessary to get upset about? I suppose it's good that my big sister can work, but sometimes you're too strong-willed.
Huh? Why do you think that? There are plenty of women that are like me at my company. I feel like I'm not that strong-willed. I'm just stating that there's not going to be a problem at my wedding tomorrow. It's my own opinion of the situation.
Well, I guess when it comes to your company, it's quite special. So you're saying that the other women at your work are strong-willed too? I don't get why you were fighting with Drew in the first place. What's up with that? Especially at this time, it's a bit odd.
Drew's the one at fault here. He lost the wedding ring that he just bought for me. What's more, he got drunk with his friends and didn't make it home afterwards. He slept on the street and somehow lost the ring in the process.
Whoa, what? So that's what all the fuss was about? Because he lost the ring and you fought because of that? I mean, he just wanted to have a good night with his friends before his wedding day, right? I think some couples lose their wedding rings all the time.
But we're supposed to be exchanging rings during the wedding ceremony tomorrow. I thought that things would want to have been done better than this.
It's okay to not have everything according to plan, Riley. It's not like he lost it on purpose either. I think there's nothing for you to be angry about now. But this sort of thing has happened before. He's lost his phone and his wallet when he slept in the street before this incident. Don't you think it's dangerous that he doesn't manage to get home and sleeps on the street like a big drunk? So of course I was going to scold him for what he did. I wasn't going to let it fly. So after that huge disagreement you had, the only reason why you're so angry is because he lost a silly little wedding ring whilst having a great night out? Yes, that's right. Why are you saying that like it's a bad thing? To me, it sounds like you don't understand what men are like. Men are creatures with high self-esteem. You have to use a whip with them a little bit, but also give them candy to keep them pleased. So you're saying if you were in my position, you wouldn't be angry at Drew for what he did? Of course I wouldn't be angry. I'd forgive him for the mistake he made and not scold him about it. I'd just tell him to be more careful next time. I guess you could always ask him to buy a new ring so he's not in hot water with you. But don't you think that's a problem? Don't you get into a certain habit and keep repeating it? He keeps falling asleep in the streets on his way home from drinking, so isn't it obvious that similar things are going to happen over and over again? It'd be more difficult to be angry with him if it was some sort of an accident, but I then told him to stop drinking so much to the point he can't get home. What the heck, Riley? It's not about what's right, you know. You've got to realize that a man's more attracted to a woman who treats him kindly and to loosen the reins rather than one who's super strict. Take me, for example, okay? I've always been very popular with men, right? You've seen that. You say that you're popular, Georgia, but the relationships never last that long. You don't have to say that right now when I'm trying to explain something to you. You don't need to say things to get at me just because you're getting married first. It's a miracle that you are, considering you've not had a boyfriend in so many years. Well, I'm the older sister, so it would make some sense that I got married before you. I just find it so odd that someone like you was able to get such a catch like Drew. He's so handsome and likes to have fun. Well, you'll probably be able to get a better looking man than him anyways, since you've got such a cute, slender face and you pamper yourself quite well. And it also seems like you're very skilled at taking advantage of men. Am I right? Even though you're the one getting married tomorrow and saying all of this to me, I'm not going to take all this in sarcasm. It's not sarcasm, Georgia. Why would you even take it that way? Because that's what it sounded like to me. That's disgusting behavior from a woman who's about to get married. You look down at the relaxed man you're about to marry. It's ridiculous. Because of what's happened already, and we're not even officially married yet. You always say things in such a harsh way. And I don't think that way, especially when I have to deal with something. Especially that? Are you kidding me? I think I've given you some proper advice here. If you don't change your personality a little bit, Drew's just going to run off and be with someone else. Okay, whatever you say, Georgia. You don't have to badger me about it over and over again. But Drew understands my personality and he still wants to marry me. If he was going to run off, he would have done it by now, right? How am I supposed to know that, Riley? He may end up thinking that he doesn't want to marry such an intimidating woman after all. If that happens, then I suppose I can swoop in and take him off your hands. That's far from funny, Georgia. You can't just say that to me when I'm about to marry him. You like to mess with people's feelings, don't you? You like to take men away from their wives, right? You know I'm really bad at taking your criticism in, Riley. I can't help it if my friend's boyfriend starts liking me instead of them. You've been the one causing trouble between couples for a long time now, haven't you? I've also gotten into trouble because I'm related to you. Oh, okay. So it's always the woman's fault because she took away the man from his wife. Yeah, okay. Would you please just settle down and keep quiet about things tomorrow? Please don't mess up anybody's relationship at my own wedding. Don't ruin happy marriages or take someone's boyfriend, okay? Okay, fine. I'll keep a low profile just for you, big sister. I hope that you and Drew rest well tonight. It's going to be a fun day tomorrow. I'm looking forward to all of the festivities. Oh, good morning, my big sister. Isn't it just such a beautiful morning? Oh, good morning, Georgia. You're very energetic this morning, aren't you? What's going on with you, dear sister? I'm just feeling so excited that it feels like I've run away with someone's man. How could you even feel like that right now? When I woke up this morning, I found that Drew was gone. And there's a strange note that was left on the table. Oh, there's a note? What does it say on it? It says that he's never coming back here. What the heck is going on? I don't understand this. Oh my God, that's terrible, Riley. That's so terrible that he'd run away from you on your own wedding day. So Drew really is never intending on coming back to you. What a shame. Did you talk with Drew recently about anything? What do you mean by that? What could I have possibly said to him? If you must know, Drew ran off to my place. Huh? What did you just say? You're telling me that you're with Drew right now? Are you being serious, Georgia? Isn't that what I just more or less said to you? He was able to escape at this present time from you. It really turned out like I said it would. I don't understand. Why would Drew go over to your place for if he truly wanted to run away from all of this? Oh, I can't believe this. You've been up to no good once again, haven't you? I guess I should say I'm sorry to you. My dear big sister, you really need to learn how men work. Don't you see? Drew prefers to be with me over you. He's so relieved that he was able to escape your grasp so he can be together with me. Did you seriously just say that to me? On my wedding day? Tell him to get back over here immediately so I can talk to him. Oh, Riley, that's a bit impossible right now. He told me that he's never ever returning to that terrible place of yours to be with you. What are you going to do about today's ceremony, huh? Are you just going to show up there all alone at the end of the aisle? I can't believe you're both doing this to me. When it comes to Drew, are you just sulking because you got angry at how I handled the situation yesterday? What's happening is too much. Do you even realize what you're doing and how bad it is? Well, I suppose I got angry very easily once again. Because you made me angry. That'll be why Drew abandoned you. Don't you see that it would be weird to not get angry over something like losing a wedding ring? Don't you get that my wedding's supposed to start in a few hours? Maybe we should still throw a wedding with just you waiting for no one. The bride's the only one that everyone makes a big deal of about being dressed all in white. You're really enjoying all this unfold, aren't you? What the heck did you say to Drew? I don't get why Drew would go over to you for anything. He hardly knows you. I just gave him some really helpful advice. I told him you're too strong-willed and have a lot to say about anything and everything, so he'll eventually be treated like a slave. I just told him, if you get married to my sister, you'll lose your freedom, so be careful about that. Are you kidding me? What the crap, Georgia? I was simply giving him advice as his future sister-in-law, okay? But no sister-in-law should say something like that to a groom before he gets married. You've put so many bad things into his head. I find it so strange that Drew would just take your word for it. But isn't that how it should be? I'm pretty sure that the love he had for you was only to a certain extent. Shouldn't you be glad that this has all been figured out before the wedding so that you don't have to waste your time and energy? Because of this happening, it's ruined my wedding day. I'm supposed to be marrying the love of my life. There are guests who are arriving ahead of us, and there's guests who are coming from far away and have probably left home to get there in time. Everyone's coming according to our plan, and if we have to cancel it, it's going to be a nuisance for everyone involved. Then why don't you just come and pick us up? I can always convince Drew to go to the wedding, right? It's almost time for the ceremony to start, right? Aren't you coming to pick me up? What are you going to do about today's ceremony if you don't pick me up? Huh? I've got no clue what you're talking about. I've plotted my revenge, and there's nothing you can do about it. I did all that I can do with the power I've got. All that's left to do is wait for you both to perish into thin air. What the heck are you talking about, Riley? Is this some kind of a joke? What about this wedding that's happening today? Just get over here and pick us up so that you can have the day that you've always wanted. You do realize that I've canceled the wedding now, right? You really canceled the wedding? You told me that's not what you wanted. What a real shame for the guests that have traveled far and wide. Yeah, it was quite difficult trying to get in contact with everyone to tell them. I managed to do it with a little assistance from all of the family members. Huh? What help from the family members? Why would they help you? I also asked one of our relatives who was going to the venue ahead of me to contact the guests. I apologized to all the guests, but I said it would be a waste of time for them coming when there's no groom.
I just made sure to explain to them what truly happened to make me cancel the wedding, that it was both your faults. Excuse me? You're going to blame me for this? But it's not that bad, though. I was just trying to save you from a failed marriage. Both you and Drew were having problems before you were even married, so you had no chance of being a successful couple anyways. And you were the one who seduced another woman's man and took him away from her. I'm sorry, Georgia, but that's what I explained to all the guests who were supposed to be celebrating Drew and I. I tried to explain the same thing to Drew's boss and his work colleagues who were supposed to come today. I'm the innocent one here, as I got caught up in you and Drew's stupid little quarrels. Besides, since I was going to divorce him, or whatever you do when you break up, I can just give him to you. I also canceled my honeymoon that was supposed to be next week. I'll just bill you the fees since it's your fault that everything got canceled. What? Are you kidding me, Riley? You can't just do that. What did I ever do to you? You're the one who's canceling everything, so you pay for it. But you caused the problem in the first place, remember? Both sets of parents agree with me about this. Don't expect our mom and dad to fork out the money for you to pay back what you made me cancel. They seriously agreed to this? Mom and dad seriously forgave you for canceling all of the events? Yes, and this time even Grandma and Grandpa were on my side about it. You really did it this time, Georgia. Messing up my wedding was the straw that broke the camel's back. Why would you go and say all these things to them when it's simply not true or necessary? Why aren't you protecting me and standing up for your family? I saved you from wasting your time, and this is how you repay me? You obviously paid no attention to when our parents and grandparents used to scold you, and it was many times that they did. What kind of upbringing did you have that you turned out so cruel, Georgia? You'll take all the responsibility for paying back what I had to cancel because of you taking Drew away from me. Okay, now let's just hold on a minute, please. This is so unfair. How much would it even be? For the wedding ceremony, it would be about $40,000, and the honeymoon would be about $12,000. Yeah, that seems about right, don't you think? Are you kidding me? You've got to be lying to me right now. Who spends that much on a wedding and a honeymoon? Don't you think that's too expensive? Why would you go to all that trouble for a wedding and a honeymoon? Well, I was really looking forward to going to the Bahamas and relaxing, so we spent a little bit more money. I paid for a lot of it out of my own pocket, but I'm going to make you both repay me for what you've done. What? You paid for most of it yourself? You didn't get any help? Well, my salary's a lot better than Drew's salary, and I also had more in my savings account than he did. I actually can't believe that. I thought Drew was cool and actually good with his money. Well, if you think that, then I'll just hand Drew over to you. You can have him since you can manipulate him so easily. You told Drew your advice because you wanted to get anything and everything out of him, right? I don't really want what he's got if he's got nothing to show me. Oh, come on, are you really going to be like this now, Georgia? Isn't it good to put similar people together? How are Drew and I similar? I don't think we are at all. Because both of you seem to be really good at making my life just a little bit more difficult and miserable. Because of this, you realize that no one's going to trust you with any information or want to be friendly with you, right? But there's no way that I can pay all that money to you. Don't you know that I'm unemployed? You know that's okay. Even people who are unemployed can start working and pay back what they owe. And since you'll be splitting the amount you're going to pay with Drew, it would be about $27,000 you owe. Neither of us will be able to pay that back. It's frankly impossible to do that. Can you just go ahead and tell Drew that he owes me that much? Don't you realize the commotion you've caused since he was planning to run away to you? You're both at fault. If you want the situation to at least calm down a little bit, why don't you just come over and apologize for what you did? You're the one who kicked Drew out and let him come over to me. You're not blameless in this. This has got nothing to do with me, especially since you were both fighting with each other the day before your wedding. How the heck am I supposed to pay such an extreme amount of money to you? No way will I do that. Georgia, are you still at the house? Even though Drew left my place, he still ran off to yours, right? Would you seriously just leave me out of your mess? It's got nothing to do with me. If you're not careful, Georgia, you'll end up in the same situation as Drew. What are you talking about? What happened to Drew? I guess he got a really bad beating from his parents for what he did to me. He finally understood what he's actually done and is facing the consequences of his actions. Maybe our parents should do the same to you, yes? Are you kidding me? Did they actually hurt him? Mom and Dad would never do that to me. Well, as you should expect, Mom and Dad are really disappointed in what you did to me. You should be afraid of them, especially when they've got such piercing eyes to stare at you with. Why would they be that angry at me for something so small? Because you wasted my time and effort I put into my wedding to Drew. You owe me that money. Pay me back or things are going to get worse for you. But I hardly did anything to you. I saved you from a miserable marriage. Don't you see that? You were just jealous of me having something that you've been struggling to get. Okay, I'm sorry, all right? I really didn't mean it. I just wanted to make you a little bit miserable for a while. Please, just don't make me pay that money. It'll take me forever, and I just think it's an impossible amount. Well, you should have thought of that before you ruined everything. It's too late for apologies, and you'll pay me that money whether you like it or not. Otherwise, you'll feel the wrath of our parents. You'll never be able to do anything like this ever again to other people. I think you've got such a twisted personality that it gives you such a rush to ruin people's lives and plans. You're going to pay for this, and that's final. Later that day, both families met with each other. The atmosphere was tense, and I couldn't stand it. My granddad ordered my parents to never support Georgia again, especially when it comes to repaying me back. She's got to find it on her own. On the other hand, Drew realized his mistake. He started forcing me to get back together with him, that he made a mistake and wanted to redo the wedding. I had no intention of doing that and politely declined his offer. His parents were furious about the whole thing and were beating him up again. I couldn't help but feel sorry for his parents for being embarrassed by what he did. They're embarrassed to have a son who's such a failure. Georgia went pale and was afraid she would be beaten up as well. She'll never make fun of me again. If you do something like that, karma comes back to you.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.
Hey, Oswin.
giving birth to a healthy baby, Lana was able to get a divorce from Owen. At first, he insists that he didn't want to be divorced. Her parents broke down physically and mentally because of this, and they cried as the divorce was finalized. If Owen was going to regret this so much, then why have an affair in the first place? He did it without even thinking of the consequences of his actions. He was told to pay Lana a high amount of alimony because of the children and what he did to his family. On top of that, he's expected to pay child support too. Lana looks forward to him being financially responsible for about the next 20 years. Lana was worried about giving birth as she was under a lot of stress. However, she gave birth to a healthy baby boy. She is currently at her parents' house raising her children. With the help of the alimony payment from her ex-husband and the other woman, she can live comfortably. She plans to create a more fun and loving atmosphere for her children than when she was with her ex-husband. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.
Zach, I have a favor to ask you. Could you please add $500 to this month's living expenses?
What? Why would I do that?
Well, it turns out your mother has been shopping online without us knowing, and she's been doing it with cash on delivery.
Seriously? I can't believe it. My mom is so irresponsible sometimes.
You can't just brush it off like that, but at this point, there's nothing we can do about what she's already bought. Can you at least cover it with some of your part-time earnings for now?
I'm asking for the $500 because I don't have my part-time income anymore.
Last week, your mother was charged for some jewelry she bought using my part-time pay. At this rate, if she keeps shopping like this, we're going to run out of money. Can't you talk to her properly about this?
You know, you're really annoying when it comes to your mother. Are you trying to get me in trouble just because we're married?
This is about more than just being married. It's about how her spending is putting a strain on us. Besides, you've been racking up credit card bills lately, too. If we keep going like this, we won't be able to live comfortably at all.
Isn't it your job to figure out how to manage this? Are you doing anything to save money?
I am trying, but even with everything I've done, we're barely scraping by each month.
Fine. I'll give you the $500, okay? But can't we enjoy a little luxury now and then just for once?
Is this because your uncle from your mother's side passed away?
Yeah, it seems that I'll be receiving some inheritance soon. I heard it's supposed to be around $20,000. That's a significant amount.
Your mom is the only relative left, so she's going to receive all of it. It's lucky for you, isn't it? Even if the amount isn't huge, at least you can afford a few luxuries for a while. But we shouldn't count on it until it actually arrives, right? Besides, $20,000 is a lot of money, but it's not infinite. You should really think about how to plan and save it wisely.
Stop nagging me. It's not even your money, so don't worry about it.
That may be true, but
maybe if you weren't so annoying, your mother wouldn't dislike you so much. People generally don't like being told what to do with their money.
then both of you should stop being reckless. If she keeps spending without a care, we really will struggle to make ends meet. You're also picky about the meals I cook, and food costs a lot of money, you know.
But I told you the inheritance is coming in, so everything will be fine.
But it hasn't come in yet.
Look, just focus on budgeting well and make sure you manage with the living expenses I give you. Once the inheritance arrives, your mother won't have to dip into her part-time pay anymore.
I don't think that solves the problem at its root. Both of you really need to reconsider how you spend money.
I know that. You're so annoying. I'm the one providing for us, so stop complaining all the time. And be nicer to my mom. You guys were arguing the other day. Can't you two just get along already?
That was your mother's fault.
Stop blaming my mom for everything. Since we live together, you should respect her more. You have professional experience, so you should understand that, right? If you act disrespectful to someone older than you, of course they're not gonna like you.
Your mother never liked me from the start.
You don't need to make excuses. You've wasted my lunch break with all this. Don't use my time for these pointless conversations.
Honestly, every time I think about it, it frustrates me. I try my best to keep everything running smoothly, but I feel like I'm fighting an uphill battle. It's exhausting dealing with financial stress, especially when your mother keeps buying things we don't need.
I know it's difficult, but you also have to understand my mom's perspective. She grew up in a different time, when things were different. She may not realize how her actions are impacting us now.
That's not an excuse for her behavior. Just because she grew up in a different time doesn't mean she can't adapt to the reality of today. We're living in a world where budgeting and financial responsibility are crucial. She should understand that by now.
Maybe she just feels a little lost or insecure. After all, she has her own life and worries, and she's just trying to find a bit of happiness in her purchases.
I understand that, but it's not sustainable. If she keeps spending like this, we'll drown in debt. It's not just about her happiness, it's about our future together. What if we want to start a family? We can't even think about that if we're struggling to pay the bills every month.
I get it, I really do. I just think we need to approach this with more compassion. Instead of constantly criticizing her, maybe we should try to help her understand the situation. Perhaps we could even sit down together and talk about budgeting and how to manage money wisely.
That's a good idea in theory, but do you honestly believe she would listen? She can be pretty stubborn when it comes to her spending habits. I fear that it might just turn into another argument.
Well, if we don't try, we'll never know. You keep saying that you want us to live harmoniously, but avoiding the issue will only lead to resentment. You can't just bury your head in the sand and hope it goes away.
Okay, you're right, but I just don't want to be the bad guy here. I don't want your mother to feel like we're ganging up on her. It's already hard for her after losing her brother, and I want to be sensitive to that.
I understand your concern, but we have to prioritize our own well-being, too. If we let this go on, it'll hurt both of us in the long run. We have to find a balance between being understanding and asserting our needs.
Fine, I'll try to bring it up gently, but if she reacts poorly, don't say I didn't warn you.
Amy, I'll be done with my business trip next week. You're still living away from home, right?
Of course I haven't gone back.
Are you serious? You've been living on the streets for a month? If you'd just beg for forgiveness, I'd let you back in. So are you willing to apologize?
I have no intention of apologizing, and it's your mother who's living on the streets. I've already moved into a new place.
What? A new place?
Well, you told me to leave, so I canceled the lease and moved out.
Canceled the lease? What kind of selfish thing are you doing? Where am I supposed to go when I come back?
I don't know. Why don't you go camp out with your mother? I was the one who originally signed the lease for that house. You just left everything to me because you thought it was too much hassle to deal with the moving procedures. Back then, I was a full-time employee, and I took out a loan for it, you know? Did you forget that?
Hey, what about my mother? Is she really living on the streets?
Yeah, it seems she blew through all the inheritance money on some overseas trip. I had to ignore her calls after you actually turned off your private phone. She kept trying to reach me because you weren't available. I don't even know where she is now since I stopped picking up her calls halfway through.
Are you kidding me? What have you done to my mother?
This is all because you told me to leave. Don't blame me for it. By the way, all of your stuff is in a storage unit, so make sure you go and get it.
You're the lowest! How could you turn your family into homeless people?
The lowest is actually you all. You squander your money however you want, even taking away my part-time wages. And then, in the end, you couldn't even give me the living expenses? I can't see you as family after all that.
Fine, I'm filing for divorce.
I was thinking the same thing, so that works for me. Let's discuss it when you get back from your trip. I'll bring a lawyer along.
You don't need a lawyer, it's just a matter of signing the divorce papers. And don't expect any kind of property division from me.
I never expected anything from property division in the first place. I'm bringing a lawyer so that we can clarify everything later.
Oh, whatever, I don't care anymore. It's pathetic for a part-time housewife to be getting a divorce. How are you going to survive now?
I believe I can live a more decent life than you.
You're just dreaming. If you come crying to me later, don't say I didn't warn you. You'll end up regretting this. You're such a fool.
The situation is dire, and you have no idea how it feels to be forced out of your own home. The life I was living with you was draining. You don't realize how toxic it is to live with someone who treats their own family like this.
Toxic? You think you're the victim here? If anyone's toxic, it's you and your drama. You're the one who escalated this situation by refusing to compromise or see the big picture.
I tried to compromise. You just wouldn't listen to me. Every time I brought up my concerns about your mother's spending, you brushed them off like they didn't matter. I wanted us to live within our means, but you just ignored everything.
That's because you don't know how to have fun. You only think about saving money. Life isn't just about penny pinching every dollar. Sometimes you have to enjoy yourself, especially when you come into unexpected money. That's how you enjoy life.
Enjoying life doesn't mean throwing money around carelessly. It means knowing when to splurge and when to save. Your mother's behavior is reckless and it's affecting us.
You don't get it. My mother has been through so much. She finally got a taste of freedom with that inheritance, and now she can live a little. You should support her instead of criticizing everything she does.
Support her? How can I support someone who's making decisions that jeopardize our financial stability? This isn't just about her, it's about us too.
You really think I want to have this conversation? I'm just trying to enjoy what little freedom I have left without all your complaints weighing me down. I don't want to come back to a home filled with negativity and complaints.
Negativity? You call wanting a stable financial situation negativity? This is called being responsible. It's about planning for our future instead of living in the moment and risking everything.
Well, it's too late now. You chose to leave. You made this mess, and I'm not going to clean it up for you. Just because I'm not as responsible as you think I should be doesn't mean I don't know how to take care of myself.
Taking care of yourself is not the same as ignoring reality. Your carefree attitude is going to lead you to a dead end, and you'll find yourself alone because you pushed everyone away.
Maybe I'll be better off alone than dealing with someone who can't see past their own fears. You're just projecting your insecurities onto me, and I'm tired of it.
Insecurities? No, it's called facing the truth. The truth is that you're digging yourself a deeper hole, and I won't be around to witness it. I have my own life to worry about, and you're clearly not part of it anymore.
I'm not asking you to be a part of my life anymore. I'm moving on, and you can do whatever you want. Just remember that you pushed me to this point.
I'm glad you finally see it that way. You're right, you're free to make your own choices. But don't be surprised when those choices come back to bite you. Life has a funny way of teaching lessons when you least expect them.
I'll take my chances. At least I'll be able to live without the constant fear of your judgment. I won't look back.
Fine, good luck to you. Just remember, I won't be there to help you when you fall.
That's exactly how I want it. Goodbye, Amy. About the divorce, can we talk it over one more time?
Huh? Why?
I've been thinking about it, and I really don't think it's right for us to part ways like this.
I don't understand. We finalized the divorce this afternoon, didn't we? You were the one who signed the papers with a smile. You were happy to be free from having to see my face again.
Well, it was, I guess I was feeling a bit overconfident at that moment. By the way, I heard from a mutual acquaintance that you're living in a high-rise building now?
Yes, I am.
Why? How is it that a part-time housewife like you can afford to live in a high-rise?
I bought it with my savings from my single days.
What? You had savings? Why didn't you mention this during the divorce? You should have shared that wealth.
The savings I had from my single days are not joint property. It's all my money.
So you had enough money to buy a high-rise, yet you were living off me. Isn't that a bit shady?
The money I saved during my single days is for emergencies. I don't owe you any explanation for how I spend it.
Amy, the truth is we're still living in a monthly rental apartment. We haven't found a proper place yet.
So what? That has nothing to do with me.
Please, let's start over. I want to make amends for everything I've done to you. My mom feels really remorseful too. Can't we all live together again?
Sorry, but even if you're aiming for a high-rise, the place I bought is for a single person. It's not big enough for you all to live in.
That's fine. Mom says she doesn't mind staying in the hallway. We won't be a bother to you.
Just the fact that you're all in the same space is a nuisance. Having you in the hallway would just be annoying.
Please don't say that. We're really in a tough spot right now.
Tough spot?
Actually, about the inheritance from Mom's brother, it wasn't just the $20,000. There were debts as well. $50,000 worth of debt. Since we spent all the inheritance, they're saying we have to pay it back. We've suddenly become debt-ridden.
I told you so. Don't waste money like that. You all just recklessly used up the inheritance without doing any research. It's honestly stupid.
Please, help us. You're the only person we can rely on right now.
Why me?
Because technically we're still family, right?
Listen, I already submitted the divorce papers. What are you even saying?
Huh? You just signed them today. Did you submit them right away?
Yes, I did.
Normally you'd wait at least a day. How can you just submit them without a second thought?
You were the one who told me to submit them right away, remember?
That doesn't mean you can just go ahead and submit them like that. There's no divorce. Take it back right now.
It's too late. It's already been accepted. Now that it's inconvenient for you, you come to me for help? I'm really glad to be away from you all. I wish I had stopped putting up with it sooner.
Amy, let's get married.
What is wrong with your brain? Remarriage is out of the question.
I'm really sorry for everything that happened. I'm sorry for not protecting you from my mother's harassment. I'm sorry for all the wasteful spending. It was all my fault. So please, let's start over.
I have already given you everything I could. Since we got married, I did my best to avoid a divorce, and I put up with your mother's bullying, hoping she would eventually like me. But over the years of our marriage, nothing changed, did it? I can't believe things would suddenly get better now.
This time I will truly change. I will listen to everything you say, so please don't abandon us.
Then I have one last request. Never contact me again. That's the only thing you can do for me.
No, I want to make you happy properly. This time as your husband, I will protect you.
Please save the nonsense for your dreams. Remarrying you would only bring me unhappiness. In the end, it would be you who would regret it and come crawling back. Didn't you realize who the real fool is?
Please, give me a moment to make my case here. I know I messed up, but I want to work things out. We have shared a life together, and I believe that deserves another chance.
You really think you deserve another chance after everything you've done? How can you even say that with a straight face?
It's hard for me to admit, but I realize now how much I've taken for granted. My mother has been difficult, and I've let her influence my decisions. I've been selfish and thoughtless, and I'm sorry for all of that.
You think saying sorry will magically fix everything? It's not that simple, Zach.
I know it's not simple, but please hear me out. I want to show you that I can change. I want to be the partner you deserve, not the one I was.
Your actions speak louder than your words, Zach. You've proven time and time again that you can't be trusted. How do I know this time will be different?
Because I am willing to put in the effort. I'll do whatever it takes to rebuild what we had. I don't want to lose you.
You already lost me the moment you decided to choose your mother over me. You made your choice, and now you have to live with the consequences.
You say that, but my mom really has changed. She understands now that she was wrong to treat you the way she did. I can see it in her eyes. She regrets everything.
You expect me to believe that? After all the pain she caused me?
I understand it's hard to forgive, but what if I told you I would take a stand for you this time? I will not let her bully you again, I promise.
You keep promising, but I've seen this movie before. The all change and all protect you routine has lost its charm. How many times have I heard it?
This time will be different. I promise to stand by you, to listen to you, and to support you. I won't let anyone come between us again.
I want to believe you, but it's hard. You need to understand that rebuilding trust takes time. It's not something you can rush.
I get that, and I'm willing to take that time. I will do whatever it takes to show you that I mean it. Just give me a chance.
trying to guilt trip me into reconsidering my decisions. It was as if they had transformed into these relentless demons, constantly trying to intrude into my life once again. Once I completed all the necessary paperwork for my health insurance and other formalities, I made a firm decision to block all their contact information. This step was crucial for my peace of mind, and I knew it was the right thing to do. I simply want nothing to do with them anymore. Their attempts to re-establish contact were exhausting and emotionally draining. From what I've gathered, my ex-husband and mother-in-law are currently struggling significantly. They've been forced to save every penny they can each month just to pay off their debts. I can only imagine how hard it must be for them, especially considering how they used to live without a care in the world. The extravagant lifestyle they enjoyed seems to have come crashing down, and I can't help but feel a sense of satisfaction knowing that they're facing the consequences of their past actions. Furthermore, I've heard that my ex-husband has been suggesting that his mother find a job to contribute to their household expenses. However, my mother-in-law is vehemently opposed to the idea, causing even more friction between them. It seems that every day is filled with arguments over financial matters, which has created a toxic environment. They're stuck in this relentless cycle of conflict, and honestly, I think they deserve every bit of it. If they want to spend the rest of their lives arguing and struggling together, so be it. I hope they fully experience the anguish of worrying about money on a daily basis. It's a lesson they need to learn, considering the way they treated me during our time together and the choices they made while I was still a part of their lives. I often think about the years I spent dealing with their negativity, and I believe it's time for them to confront the harsh reality of their financial mismanagement. On the other hand, I have moved on. After purchasing my new apartment in the high-rise, I quickly found a job and am currently working as a full-time employee. Although I'm still adjusting to my new workplace and navigating the challenges of a busy schedule, I feel a sense of relief and contentment that I haven't felt in a long time. The change of environment has been incredibly refreshing, and I can focus on my work without the toxic influence of my past. I genuinely believe I'm living fulfilling days now, and I'm grateful for the peace I've found. There are no more frivolous spenders around me, no one trying to harass me or bring me down. The office environment is professional and focused, allowing me to concentrate on my responsibilities without the distractions of drama or conflict. I find that I can thrive in this setting as I am surrounded by motivated individuals who share my work ethic. I truly feel like I'm in a better place, both professionally and personally. As I reflect on my life now, I've come to understand that while happiness cannot be bought with money, there are indeed many things that money can help facilitate. Having financial stability allows me to make choices that enhance my quality of life, whether it's enjoying a nice meal, taking a small trip, or simply being able to indulge in a hobby. Having a secure financial base gives me the freedom to live life on my own terms. I can invest in experiences that bring me joy rather than worrying about making ends meet. Looking ahead, I am determined to continue working hard and saving money. I want to create a life that feels rich and rewarding, not just in material wealth, but in experiences and personal growth. I plan to invest in my future, whether it's by saving for additional comforts, pursuing further education, or simply ensuring that I have the resources to take care of myself in any situation. It's about striking a balance between enjoying the present and preparing for what lies ahead. As I navigate this new chapter of my life, I also want to find my own version of happiness again. It's a journey that will take time, and I know there will be ups and downs along the way, but I feel optimistic about the future. I look forward to discovering what brings me joy, whether that's exploring new interests, building new friendships, or perhaps even pursuing passions I had never had the chance to experience before. I've realized that I can no longer allow the toxicity of my past to dictate my future. The experiences with my ex-husband and mother-in-law were challenging, but they've also taught me invaluable lessons about self-worth, independence, and resilience. I've learned to stand up for myself and to prioritize my own needs and happiness. It's liberating to finally feel free from the emotional baggage that weighed me down for so long. I understand that I deserve a life filled with positivity and love, free from the weight of other people's expectations and negativity. As I continue on this path, I will be sure to surround myself with supportive and encouraging individuals who uplift me and inspire me to grow. The past may have shaped me, but it does not define me. I'm looking forward to what's next, and I am ready to embrace whatever comes my way. With determination and an open heart, I will find my way to a life that reflects who I am and who I aspire to be. In closing, I'm committed to building a future where I can thrive and be happy. I believe that every step I take, no matter how small, is a step towards creating the life I want.
I will continue to save, work hard, and invest in my own happiness. The journey is just beginning, and I am excited to see where it leads. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Good morning, Melody. I have a favor I need to ask you.
Good morning, Mom. A favor? Okay, if it's something I'm capable of, then I'll be glad to help you out.
Oh, I'm sure it's not going to be too much trouble at all for you. I need you to weed my garden for me today. It absolutely must be done by tomorrow. An old friend of mine is coming by, and I just can't allow her to see the state my garden is in. It would be humiliating.
You want me to weed your garden?
No, that's not right. Pay attention, Melody. I need you to weed my garden today. Not tomorrow, not this weekend. Today.
Your garden is about as big as our entire yard, though.
Yes, and? It's time for you to put that youthful energy of yours to use. It shouldn't take you more than a few hours or so to get it all done.
Yeah, I guess if you have you there to help me, it might be done that quickly.
What? You can't be serious, Melody. Are you actually expecting someone my age to go out and weed my garden?
Wait, you're telling me I'm gonna have to do it by myself? Wow. Mom, I don't think a weeding job of that scale is gonna get done in just a few hours. Especially not if I'm working by myself.
Nonsense, you're perfectly capable. Have faith in yourself. In any case, you'll need to get started soon. Get ready and come over to my house immediately.
Okay, well, I suppose I can come by and help. But I should tell you now that I won't be able to stay there for very long. I have something going on in the evening.
And just what sort of something is it? Is this something more important than a request from your own mother-in-law?
One of my coworkers is moving out of state soon, so the company is throwing them a going-away party. There's going to be a nice catered dinner at the office, and I already responded and said that I'd be coming.
That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. People move all the time. What's so important about this person that they're getting a party to mark the occasion?
Well, they'd been with the company for quite some time, and they were a huge help to me when I first got started there, so I would feel terrible if I didn't go. Plus, I bought a present that I was planning to give them at the party.
Then you can send it by mail. It's a going-away party, Melody, not a funeral. It isn't as though you'll never see them again.
Well, yes, I'm aware of that, but that isn't the point. The point is that they're moving out of state, so it'll probably be a long time before we get the chance to see each other.
Then go ahead and go if you feel so strongly.
Thanks for being so understanding, Mom.
However, you will still have to weed my entire garden by tomorrow morning. I don't want to see one single blade of grass in there. If that means coming back after your silly little party to finish the job, so be it.
But Mom, the party's not going to get out until after dark.
What are you saying, Melody? Do you want me to humiliate myself in front of my friend by having an unkempt garden? Is that what this is?
That's not it at all.
Then quit your complaining and do what I tell you. If it's too dark to work, you can use a flashlight.
I've got a better idea. What if you help me? If we both work together, it should be done by mid-afternoon. That way, you'll have a neat and tidy garden. I'll be able to go to the party, and we'll both be happy.
For the last time, Melody, pay attention. I cannot help you weed my garden. I'm far too old for that kind of manual labor. I'd rather not spend the rest of my days in a wheelchair, thank you very much. That's why I'm telling you to do it. Aren't you forgetting something, Melody? I was always hesitant to allow you to marry my son. You still owe me a debt of gratitude for that, and a simple garden weeding is the least thing you could do to repay me.
Mom, you know I'm grateful for giving us your blessing to get married, but it's just that you're asking me to do this on awfully short notice.
I don't want to hear any more excuses from you. I will ask you one more time. Will you do as I, your mother-in-law, say? This is a yes or no question, Melody. Now answer me.
Okay, I'll do it. I'll do what I can in the afternoon, and if there's anything left to do, I'll come back over after the party.
Why couldn't you just say that in the first place? My word, you are one obnoxious little girl, you know that? If you want to improve my opinion of you, you desperately need to improve that attitude of yours. When I say jump, you ask how high. Do I make myself clear?
Yes, Mom. Perfectly clear.
What on earth was that son of mine thinking when he married you? There's nothing appealing about you at all. You're as ugly as a horse and as charming as a hornet. You have the personality of an alligator and the work ethic of a sloth. I never should have given my blessing to your marriage. I thought you might improve with time, but you're just as much of a brat as you ever were. Now hurry up I made myself clear? If you don't want another lesson like I gave you last night, then you know what you need to do. Divorce my son and remove yourself from his life immediately. I have no use for an insubordinate daughter-in-law who refuses to do what I say.
Oh, most certainly, Mom. You've made yourself very clear. It's clear to me now that you still have absolutely no idea how much trouble you're in.
Trouble? Trouble for what? All I did was show you your place. There's nothing wrong with that.
Are you at home right now?
Yes, and what of it? Don't tell me, are you going to come and try to get some payback? It will end precisely the same way yesterday ended for you, so save yourself the trouble and stay away.
Oh, I'm not the one who's going to be visiting you today. The police will be, though. Oh, if you're so sure of your innocence, you could always just head over to the police station and turn yourself in.
Excuse me? The police have nothing to do with this. This is a family matter. You can't honestly think the police are going to get involved with a minor family scuffle, can you?
That wasn't a minor little scuffle, Mom. You walked into the hospital room and started punching me in the face. Thanks to you, I've got a bruise on my chin that's probably not going to heal for a week. I've already filed a police report, and as soon as Marcus is released from the hospital, we're going to be discussing our legal options with a lawyer. But for the meantime, know that we will at the very least be pressing charges against you for assault.
Police report? Pressing charges? What is the meaning of this?
If you don't know what police reports are or what pressing charges mean, look them up on the internet or something.
That's not what I meant. I am asking you where you get off treating me like I'm some sort of common criminal.
That would be because you are a common criminal. You intentionally greased that ladder with the intent to make me fall and injure myself. Then, when that didn't do the trick, you took matters into your own hands. You might have gotten away with the ladder thing if it weren't for that. You assaulted me in the middle of a hospital, Mom. We have dozens of witnesses, not to mention the security camera footage. There's no way out of this for you.
You're being ridiculous. That wasn't assault. I was disciplining you for your horrendous behavior.
Are you under the impression that you can get away with assault by calling it discipline? This isn't the 1960s anymore, Mom. I think you should get with the times.
I wouldn't have had to resort to such drastic measures if you weren't being such an impudent little brat to me. I'm not the only one who's at fault here.
Go ahead and tell that to the police then.
I'm not going to the police under any circumstances.
You've got two choices, Mom. Either you go to them, or they'll be coming to you before too much longer.
Have you forgotten something, Melody? I am your husband's mother, your mother-in-law. How do you think Marcus would feel about his dear mother getting arrested because of you?
Marcus was the one who told me to go to the police in the first place.
What?
Marcus has been telling you for quite some time now that you need to change the way you treat me. And to be fair, you most certainly did change, but not in a good way. You went from bad to worse.
I only did what was necessary. It's my responsibility as Marcus's mother to ensure that you're a proper wife for him. When my encouragement didn't work, you left me no choice but to become stricter on you.
Encouragement? You've been insulting my appearance and personality since before Marcus and I were married. Not to mention, constantly forcing all your housework onto me. How is that encouragement? That's nothing but verbal and emotional abuse.
You only say that because you have a weak constitution.
You can think that of me if you'd like, but the fact is that I've been putting up with you for long enough, and I'm not going to do it anymore. You're finally going to be held responsible for your actions.
But we're family, aren't we? Are you really going to do this to your own family member?
When have you ever treated me like family? I can't remember a single time.
All right, Melody, fine. You win. I surrender. You have me dead to rights. I'm sorry. There, that should settle things between us. Now that I've apologized, call up the police and tell them you're dropping the charges.
You're joking, right? You're not going to get away with this easily. This isn't something you can fix with an apology.
You need to calm down, Melody. Sit down for a moment and think about what you're doing. Getting angry isn't going to accomplish anything. Think of the impact all the stress you're causing yourself will have on your child.
You tried to make me fall off of a stepladder. I think that had more potential to harm my child than me getting angry at you over it.
Look, I suppose I may have gone a little bit overboard with you. It's just that you were always so quick to do whatever I told you to.
I told you, I was hoping beyond hope that someday we might have a decent relationship. But boy, was I an idiot for that.
I'm so sorry, Melody.
I told you, apologizing isn't going to get me to drop the charges.
I'll never ask you to do a single thing for me again. In fact, I'll do whatever you ask me to do. Wouldn't you like some help around the house now that you're pregnant? Oh, please, I'm begging you. Can't you find it in your heart to forgive a foolish old woman like me? I promise you that I'll be a much better mother-in-law to you from now on.
I'll pass. I'd rather have a venomous snake for a mother-in-law than you. I never want to speak to you again.
Don't talk like that. You're such a sweet, kind-hearted girl, Melody. I'm sure that's what Marcus saw in you when he married you. I was simply too stubborn and hard-headed to realize that, and I apologize. So please, can't we come to some sort of an understanding?
I already understand you perfectly well. You're a cold, heartless, uncaring, bitter, cruel old woman. I can't wait to see you in handcuffs. Promised. Right after Marcus was discharged from the hospital, we started talking with a lawyer about what to do about my mother-in-law. We soon came to realize that actually following through with the case until trial would be more of a headache than it would be worth. So we made a deal with her. She agreed to never contact either of us again and paid us a nominal amount of damages, and in exchange, we agreed not to press charges. I'm sure many people out there would tell me that I let her off too easily, and that I should have made sure she served actual jail time for what she did to me. But as much as I would love for that to happen, I can't just be thinking about myself. My baby's going to be born soon, and I can't be tied up in court hearings and whatnot up until the birth. She would only serve a minor sentence anyway, and I'd be worried about her trying to get revenge on me after she got out. But while she didn't end up getting arrested, all of her relatives and friends found out about what she did. So I'm sure that she's getting more than enough social consequences as it is. Not to mention her husband won't even look her in the eye anymore. She's become completely isolated from everyone who once meant something to her, and she is not taking it well. From what I understand, she barely even leaves the house anymore. We walked by their house the other day, and the garden that she once took pride in was completely overgrown with weeds. As for me, with my mother-in-law out of the picture, I was able to finish the rest of my pregnancy in peace and quiet. Then, just the other day, I gave birth to a healthy baby boy. I'm going to do my best to raise him to be a strong, upstanding man, just like his father. One day, I know he'll bring a lovely lady to the house to introduce to us. And when he does, I'll be sure to give her all the respect that my mother-in-law should have given me.
Tell me, Sharon, how long are you planning on living in that house? You can't keep this up forever.
Good morning, Mom. Yeah, we aren't planning on staying here forever. It's a nice apartment, but we're probably not going to renew the lease when it expires. We just thought that it would be way too chaotic to try and find a house while also planning our wedding. So yeah, this is just a temporary thing.
That's not what I'm talking about. Oh, my goodness, you are dense. I'm talking about your marriage with my son. How long are you going to stay with him?
That's an odd question. I'm pretty sure that at our wedding, we both accepted the till death do us part thing in our vows. Plus, we've only been married for a month now. So I'm not really sure what you're expecting me to say to a question like that, Mom.
What I expect is for you to set my poor son free as soon as possible. I made myself very clear, Sharon. I do not give my blessing to your relationship, and I never will.
Yes, Mom. You have been very, very clear about that from the time we first started dating.
Apparently, it hasn't gotten through to you. I was explicit in ordering the two of you to break up, but what did you do? You not only kept right on dating, you got engaged, and you even got married. Every step of the way I voiced my opposition, and you consistently ignored my wishes.
You were upfront about your wishes, Mom, and likewise, we were upfront about ours. You might have opposed our marriage, but your husband was much more understanding. Not to mention, we invited you to the wedding, and you attended.
Do you think I wanted to attend that farce of a wedding? I only went in order to save face in front of my relatives. I didn't want to be known forever as the woman who didn't go to her own son's wedding. That's not the issue anyway. The issue is that the two of you have been acting as though you don't need my permission to get married.
Well, there's a very good reason for that. We don't need your permission. Don't get me wrong, though. I would love nothing more than the day to come that you'll relent and accept me as your son's wife. But this isn't your marriage. It's ours. The fact is that your son Isaiah and I love each other and want to be married. I fully intend to be the best possible wife I can be for him. I hope you'll come to recognize that in time.
There is nothing you can say or do that will ever make me approve of you. The reason I'm so opposed to your relationship is the one thing that you can never fix: your age. You are 6 years older than my Isaiah. Will that gap ever be closed, Do you think you can subtract years from your age by cooking or cleaning well enough?
Well, no, I guess not.
What on earth were you two fools thinking getting married to each other? When you were in the 8th grade, Isaiah was still in the 2nd grade. A middle school girl dating an elementary school child? How could you possibly develop romantic feelings for someone so much younger than yourself?
While true, I'm not sure what that has to do with anything. In case you haven't noticed, we're not in grade school anymore. We're both adults, and 6 years isn't that much of an age gap anyway. There are people all over the place in relationships with bigger age gaps than that.
Commonality is not equivalent to morality. Your relationship is an affront to the laws of nature.
That seems like a wee bit of an overstatement, but moving on. I have to admit that I do understand where you're coming from. I had my reservations about the age difference between us at first, but the more time we spent together, the more we came to realize that we were meant for each other.
Listen to yourself, Sharon. You are 33 years old. 33. And here you are talking about love like you're some starstruck schoolgirl. It's time for you to face reality. A woman's role in a marriage is to give birth to healthy children. At your age, you won't even be capable of that for very much longer. If, that is, you're even capable right now.
We certainly would love to be blessed with children, but even in the event we aren't so fortunate, we're going to stay together until the very end.
At your age, you'd have to be very fortunate to get pregnant, much less give birth to a healthy baby.
Then we'll all have to keep our fingers crossed.
In any case, I do not accept you as my daughter-in-law. I will never understand why Isaiah chose you. He is handsome, intelligent, hard-working, successful. He could have had any woman he wanted, and yet he went and married an old maid like you.
I understand that I'm not the kind of wife that you expected for your son. But like I told you, I'll work as hard as I can to get you to see that Isaiah and I are meant to be together.
Oh, this is exactly why I wanted Isaiah to marry a younger woman. Old maids just talk and talk and talk, and then when they're finished talking, they talk some more. They never listen to a word anyone says. They just keep on jabbering on, even when what comes out of their mouth is utter gibberish. Nothing but talk, talk, talk. That's all you are.
Right. Well, for what it's worth, I am serious about wanting to prove myself to you.
Don't waste your breath. You might have managed to put Isaiah and that foolish husband of mine under your spell, but I won't be so easily deceived. I know exactly what you are. A filthy old woman who selfishly married a man 6 years her junior. I swear on my life I will get the rest of my family to see the truth about you.
Hello, Mom. I wanted to ask you about something. Could I have a minute of your time?
Why, hello, Sharon. I wonder what this could be about.
The way you say that makes it seem like you already know. I just got back from shopping a few minutes ago, and I found a stack of pictures of women with names, phone numbers, and profiles.
Oh, I'm glad you found them. I was worried the wind might have blown them away. What do you think? Aren't they so young, vivacious, and beautiful? They're all daughters of my friends. They come from very good families, too. I thought they'd be perfect for a young man in his 20s like my George.
Mom, don't you think you've taken this a bit too far? And by a bit, I mean way too far. It would be one thing if he was single, but George and I are married. Neither George nor I have any interest in romantic relationships with anyone else. And think about what you're doing to those poor girls. You're trying to hook them up with a married man?
a currently married man, something I aim to remedy as soon as possible, I'd say you should let George decide for himself whether or not he's interested in any of them. Who knows? Maybe the girl of his dreams is in that stack of profiles, and your concern for them is misplaced. I showed them all a picture of my boy, and their reactions were very positive. They said they'd love an opportunity to go out to dinner with a man as handsome as he is, so they're not opposed to my plan either. You're the only one objecting. Now be a dear and hand those pictures to George once he gets home, will you?
Mom, you know that there's no way I'm going to do that. And, by the way, I also found a stack of flyers for divorce attorneys in our mailbox the other day. Let me guess. That was your doing too, wasn't it?
What's that? Divorce attorneys? I haven't the slightest idea what you're talking about. Why do you think I'm the one who requested those? Maybe George is the one who's looking for a divorce attorney.
Isaiah is even more upset about all of this than I am. He's not the type of man who would do something like that to make me afraid he's going to divorce me.
Have you stopped to consider the possibility that he really does want to divorce you? I've been working overtime telling him what an awful choice for a wife you were. Perhaps my work has been a success. Maybe he finally sees you for the old hag that you are.
That is absolutely not the case. We've only been married for 3 months, Mom. I don't think he's looking to divorce me already.
If anything, that makes my assessment even more likely. You've only had 3 months to develop a marital bond between you. That means Isaiah shouldn't have much of a problem leaving you at all. Some people get married and regret it the next day, you know. Do you honestly think that someone with your looks and personality could hold on to George's heart forever? You're delusional, borderline narcissistic if you ask me.
I'm not asking you, and I trust my husband. I know he's going to be faithful to me.
Sharon, dear, the next time you're out on the town, you need to take a good look at the people around you. There's an ample supply of girls out there who are younger and prettier than you ever were, even in your youth. And seeing as you're over 30 now, you've far exceeded your peak beauty. There is nowhere to go but downhill for you. You can buy as many stylish clothes and apply as much makeup as you'd like, but it's never going to change the fact that you're an old woman.
I'm aware of that.
Really, you don't seem to be aware at all. I think you've let the fact that my son settled for marrying you go to your head. And another thing, I distinctly remember hearing a while back that you make George do the cooking on his days off. Is that true? Do you make George do chores like that all the time?
Well, we both have jobs, so we do share the housework, yeah. We take turns in doing the laundry, dishes, vacuuming, all that stuff.
Unbelievable. What do you mean you both have jobs? You don't have a real job. You work at home.
Yes, I do work from home. That's why I have a home office set up for myself in the basement. I'm pretty sure we've been over this before, though.
Nonsense. If you're home all day, there's nothing stopping you from doing all the housework. Why are you making my son do the cooking when he already works to support the both of you?
I'm not making him do anything. Isaiah likes to cook. It's sort of a hobby of his. A few months ago, he saw a recipe online that he wanted to try making, and it turned out really good. Ever since then, he's been trying out new recipes just about every week. So I don't have to tell him to do anything. He volunteers for it.
Well, you just have a response for everything, don't you? Such an argumentative woman. There's another symptom of being an old woman. If only George had married a woman closer to his age. A younger woman would have done as I told her, for sure. She certainly wouldn't put up a fuss like this.
I don't think age has anything to do with a woman obeying her mother-in-law or not.
And there you go, arguing with me again. Thank you for yet again proving me right.
You can't just throw out a baseless accusation and call me argumentative when I deny it.
What on earth was George thinking, marrying a woman like you? I don't understand his tastes in women at all. I thought I had raised him to have more common sense than this.
One of the many things that made me attracted to Isaiah was how he was always more interested in my personality than in my looks. The age gap between us never really mattered very much. We like each other as individuals.
Yes, I'm sure that's what you tell yourself to help you sleep at night. But you know deep down that men like young women. It's the way of the world. Men prefer younger women. Women prefer older men. People like you are mere aberrations. I know that sooner or later George will come to his senses and realize what a fool he was to marry some old maid like you.
Well, too bad. I'm going to be the best wife I can be and see to it that that never happens.
What are you going to do? Get plastic surgery or something? Actually, you know what? That might not be such a bad idea. You should probably get on that as soon as possible if you want to save your marriage.
Our marriage doesn't need saving, and you're being incredibly rude.
Hard as it may be to hear, all I'm telling you is the simple truth. Anyway, do be a dear and show those profiles to George, will you? The sooner he sees what options he has, the sooner he'll put an end to his foolishness with you.
After that, my father-in-law kicked my mother-in-law out of their house. Furthermore, he told her that he intends to divorce her as soon as possible. This is something that's between the two of them, so I don't know all the details. But it seems like my mother-in-law has been getting on her husband's nerves for some time now. She has this image of a wife as more of a princess than a life partner. That's why she barely ever lifts a finger around the house, and why she expected George to marry some young trophy wife like she sees herself being. Me being over 30 and having actual employable skills means that I was nowhere close to fitting her ideal image of a wife for her son. My father-in-law had put up with her for a while, but he finally got tired of her spoiled, rotten attitude, and Isaiah feels the same way. I don't imagine my father-in-law will waste much time in hiring a divorce attorney. Having finally been freed from my mother-in-law's nastiness, Isaiah and I are finally able to live our lives as newlyweds in peace and harmony. Oh, and some more good news. I found out the other day that I'm pregnant. Isaiah and I are happier than we ever imagined. Although, I can't help but imagine what awful things my mother-in-law would have done to me if she found out about this. Fortunately, though, I don't think I'll have to worry about that. Isaiah filed for a restraining order against his mother on my behalf, which the judge quickly granted. So, if for whatever reason she tries to interfere in our lives, all I need to do is contact the police, and she'll be swiftly carried off to prison, where she belongs. So, while I'm not too worried about that, I still need to be careful. For now, I just want to focus on giving birth to this baby and becoming the best mother I can possibly be.